This morning's demonstration was conducted with the use of Hearst Jaws of Life rescue tools. The cost of a combination tool, cutting tool, which was used today to remove the door and the roof, are approximately $7,500 a piece. A complete set of Hearst equipment is in the ballpark of $30,000 to $35,000. Currently, we have 6 sets of extrication equipment located in Slidell at 6 different locations.
Our goal today was to educate the public on an extrication from the inside the vehicle all the way to being brought to an ambulance. I hope you enjoyed the video, the demonstration, and learned what 5 District Number 1 does in Slidell and the high level of training that our personnel have when it comes to specialized training. Thank you, and be safe.
At this time, the firefighter has made entry to the back of the car where he's covering the patient with a cover to protect him from glass as well as metal.
Kind of scary here in the glass break like that.
We need to get the glass break and the glass break all the glass.
It's being held in a safe position where I can't move it. There are lots of glass breaking around me.
Right now, the fire department is using a tool we call a Talon. It's a multi-use tool. It's used for cutting as well as spreading. The guys are using a glass master to cut the front windshield out to gain more access to the post to remove the roof.
Loud sounds, glass being cut off the front windshield, what it sounds like. Definitely a scary feeling.
Right now he's using the paladin to pry the door off, to pop the pins, to gain more access to the patient that is still trapped. Right now our only patient care that we can administer is a C-collar to make sure that his neck does not move. We've made patient contact. Continue to talk to the patient, keep him as calm as possible. He has a lot going on around him. As well as you can see, he can't see what's going on due to the patient cover.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary feeling right now. First off, you can't see. but it's good that it's covered obviously with the glass going everywhere. It does add some comfort to have the fireman in the vehicle with me, kind of give me a play-by-play on what's going on, keeping me reassured everything's going to be okay.
You can see behind me on the passenger side of the vehicle, they're using a tool called an O cutter to begin to cut the B post, which is the center post that connects the two doors. They're beginning to remove all of the structural supports to remove the roof. As I said earlier, the Paladin is a multi-use tool. You saw them use the tool to spread the door. Now they're using the tool to cut the A-post, working with the O-cutter on the other side to remove this roof quickly.
Still definitely a very uneasy feeling. I can't imagine, truly being trapped in a vehicle like this. A lot going on around me. You can hear the door being cut off, and hear the roof being cut off, glass breaking. The one good thing is having firemen in the vehicle holding my neck, making sure that I don't move my neck, as well as giving me reassurance that everything's going to be all right, and giving me a play-by-play on what's going on.
Typically by this time in a wreck, we would have a paramedic, fireman inside the vehicle, starting an IV on the patient, beginning to do an analysis of what issues he does have, getting an IV established, starting to see any kind of patient care we can render inside the vehicle before they're extricated. You can see the driver's door is being removed, again with the Paladin. As well as the O-cutter is being used at the same time to continue to work on the roof. They're working on the driver's side C-post. You'll also note behind the vehicle 2 firemen with a charged hose line and structural firefighting gear prepared to put the fire out if anything were to happen inside this car. The line is charged. They will be there within seconds if any kind of spark ignites any fuel or anything that's been punctured underneath or inside of the vehicle.
Yes, I feel it. Making sure. There's a fireman that just touched my toes to make sure I could feel my feet. Once again, give me reassurance. What's up? Fireman just gave me a warning that they're about to take the roof off.
While the firemen are using the tools, we have to be careful. Every tool we use for every action is a reaction. While prying or cutting, we have to look where our tools are at to make sure we're not pushing metal onto our patient or causing more injury. They just advised the roof is about to come off. Before the roof could be removed, we had to also cut the seat belts, which is another standard procedure.
Still a very uneasy feeling sitting in here, not knowing what the outcome's going to be.
At this time, we'll remove the cover. The Canadian Ambulance Service will move in to assist us in extricating the patient from the vehicle, putting him on a long spine board, making sure that his back and neck are in line in case he has any kind of injuries that we cannot see. Right now, the firefighter is placing on a cervical collar, also known as a C-collar, to immobilize the neck of the patient. At this time, the patient's job is to let us work. We don't need him to assist us any more than needed so he doesn't move or hurt himself any worse.
Collars really can't move with the collar on. It's uncomfortable.
We're going to swap you out, swing you around, and lay you on the spine board, okay? Let's do all the work. Don't grab for nothing.
At this time, the patient is being moved. As you can see, his neck is being assisted by the fireman to continue to make sure it's in line. As well as we are moving him out into a long spine board, checking for injuries as he's moving, looking at his back, his neck, beginning to assess any trauma that occurred during the crash. Once the patient has been extricated from the vehicle, he'll be strapped down, concluded to the board, where a Canadian Ambulance Service will take over patient care, and depending on his injuries, the extent of the care they can give here, and then transport him to the local ER. As you can see, everything we do takes time. The more severe the crash, the longer each of these processes can take. The benefit of Fire District 1 having ALS capabilities is we're able to put a fireman paramedic inside the vehicle and begin to give this patient ALS treatment inside the vehicle. He doesn't have to wait until he's been extricated. At this point, he would already have IVs. He could have drugs pushed in, depending on his injuries, fluids moving. We would have a set of vital signs on this patient already before he's ever even left the car. As you can see, the patient is fully immobilized. I can assure you it's an uncomfortable feeling. to be lifted up on that stretcher and be strapped down. At this time, the patient's been loaded in the back of the ambulance, where Katie will take over patient care. Depending upon his injuries, a fireman or two might ride in the back of the ambulance to assist.